Okay.
Well, I'm Kate.
And I'm Rachel.
And I'm Hannah.
Welcome to the Strange and Beautiful Book Club. Hey, we remembered to do it that time.
Yeah. This week we are reading our fourth book in our Sarah J. Maas Throne of Glass series read-through.
Yes.
We are halfway done. We only have 4 more books to go. We might take a small break to do another book in between. I feel like this would be a good point to make a small break for the other book.
Yeah, we can. Or we could just keep going because, I don't know, the Heir of Fire ended on quite the cliffhanger.
Yeah, and the next book's great. I like the next book a lot.
I love the next book.
But we did read Assassin's Blade, which is the book that came out. She finished it. It was published in 2014.
Yes.
It came out between Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight. And it is about Selena Sardothian's years prior to her going to Endovier. So we get a little bit more depth about all of these characters that we've at this point heard mention, like passing, like one note, one reference to in each book. Sometimes people read this book before. We chose to read it after Heir of Fire because it's really relevant going into Queen of Shadows. So
I think it's the most emotionally manipulative to read it in the order that we did.
Sure.
I was very torn up
Yeah.
reading it. But actually, I didn't realize this. Sarah J. Maas recommends reading it first.
I would.
Yeah.
If I did it again.
Yeah.
I through this read through, I was like, oh, this would be really cool to read at first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't like knowing that Sam was going to die.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
of my feelings about Selena and then seeing him stand for Selena and knowing how that relationship was going to end for him the whole way through.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it really is. I noticed I didn't remember. So my first read through, and I do remember this because I listened to them all. This book was like la 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 for me. I didn't really remember it. I really fast forwarded through a lot of it. I read it fourth, and it wasn't until all of these characters start showing up. Like, oh, is that a spoiler?
No. No, I mean, it's a prequel.
Some of these characters
You see later.
we see at other points,
Yeah.
or we've seen, that I realized, oh, there's a lot of exposition in this. Like, the first time I heard about the witches was when Baba Yellow Legs. But we get quite a bit of witch talk in this.
Some.
We get quite a bit of, enough.
Yeah.
Enough for it to not
More
be,
than-
for them to not be strangers.
Yeah.
We get a lot of lore in this, more so than,
And geography.
yeah.
Yeah.
And geography.
Yeah, we
and
leave
politics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see why she would. I didn't know she recommended reading it first.
I didn't know that until like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I read it somewhere.
Yeah. That's interesting because I'm glad I liked Selena first before I read this.
Yeah.
But also I could see, I don't know. But Rachel, what was your
Yes.
favorite story?
My favorite story. Okay.
So we had 5. There were 5 different stories.
Yeah. The one with the healer was okay.
Yeah.
That one was
Irene. Yeah.
Yeah, my least
Yeah, the
favorite.
least hot takes on that one.
The least hot takes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Irene Dawn.
because the first one is the Pirate Lord. No.
Irene Tower, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I liked her. And it was mostly from her point of view. Very little of it was from Selena's point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the first one's the Pirate Lord, which I felt was just flat out ridiculous. And then the second one is that one. And then the third one is where she's in
the desert.
with the mute master,
Yeah.
which was, again,
But he's not mute.
flat out ridiculous. But they call him the mute master.
But he's not mute.
No.
He's just
He's silent.
Yeah, and at the very end,
he's a non-talker.
he's like, meh, I don't know. I just don't always talk.
And it's so funny. Rachel sends us a text talking about how like upset she is that Selena was like curt about their sign language, but it's not like American Sign Language.
No.
It's not a real language.
It's literally like,
But you have,
like,
but
hey,
you,
I'm going over here.
but you
me,
have
you,
a
me.
society of assassins who are sworn to silence, and you don't have an elaborate, like, silent means of communication.
Yeah. So you're upset that they don't.
That's poor world building.
Okay.
Yeah, that you have this ancient society of assassins who
Who
are
don't
known
speak.
worldwide for being like sworn to silence, and they don't have any kind of an elaborate sign language.
No, they just go like,
You have more elaborate sign language for like kids t-ball than they do.
yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I wasn't really offended by that, but I see where you're coming from for sure.
I wasn't offended necessarily, but I just was like, that's poor world building. That makes it feel like a throwaway thing she just tossed in there. Like, I don't know, they like point or whatever.
The rudimentary.
The rudimentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you liked Irene Tower's story the best. How about you, Hannah? What's your favorite one through here?
I would say, yeah,
Can't decide?
definitely the healer, because it was short and fun. Like, it's the shortest of the 5, and it was like kind of exciting, and it wasn't. Of course, when you get back to Rifthold for the 4th and 5th story, it's I love that time with Sam, but it's like, your heart's about to get ripped out of your chest, so you can't enjoy it.
Right.
I feel
So
like if I
they're
did
like a
read
drained
this
read.
before I knew Sam was going to die, I would have liked the Underworld story the best.
Right, because you wouldn't have known
Yeah.
that he wasn't going to come back.
Yeah.
When he said.
I would have enjoyed, watching her and Sam do their thing in Rifthold and that kind of thing. But I was just sad the whole time.
Yeah. I think my favorite is the desert story. I like that one. I like that she gets away. We go to this completely other different place. I love getting to see a little bit more about how much she needs girlfriends, how much, she's a person who's always had to survive on like little tidbits of found family.
Yeah.
But she's been surrounded by like killers and assassins her whole life
And
has
men.
never had a tight female bond. So her instant connection with Ansel and seeing how much that means to her and how she's a girl's girl that's been longing to be a girl's girl but can't be a girl's girl because there's no girls.
Yeah.
And then seeing that heartbreak and how much that hurt her, it just really deepens the connection she had with Nehemiah more.
Yeah.
And I love that aspect of Aelin a lot, of Selena. That's one of my favorite things about her is that she does have this duplicity where
Yes.
she's a girl's girl, but she's also an assassin that kills people, but that she doesn't really want to be an assassin, but she
Yeah.
has to be. She's like an indentured servant assassin
Yeah.
who's actually royal and had to, and so she's got this weird personality where she's really arrogant. She has a lot of masculine traits that we don't normally associate with girl's girl, like a girly girl.
Yeah.
So, she's really arrogant, and I feel like some of that is, not in that story, but in the last story, or the second to last story, I think it is the last story, we see how, because she's so hot-headed, she makes really dumb decisions.
Yeah.
And I think it really shows, it just deepens, after reading Heir of Fire, it really deepens like how far she's come and how
Yes.
far she's going to go, because we do get to see her be a murderous dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just like deepens how much she needs a Rowan in
Yeah.
her life.
Yes.
To be like,
She
shut
needed
the
that
fuck up
punch in
and
the face.
yeah, listen.
Yes.
If she had just listened to Wesley, is that his name?
Yes.
Wesley.
Yeah, just calm down and listen
If
for a
she
second.
had just not
Yeah.
knocked him out and listened
Yeah.
and heard him say, they are tricking you. This
Yeah.
is a game. She wouldn't have walked in there and gotten captured.
Right.
But she's just so hot-headed and I don't know. She's had a shitty life and it is, you kind of have to, I guess I fill in the gaps a little bit. I give her a lot of benefit of the doubt and
sure.
I fill in the gaps of that whole personness because we do get like two-dimensional like outlines of who she's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I think this book's better than the first one. But I still don't really love. This is probably my least favorite out of all of them, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah. I'd say Crown of Midnight's still my least favorite. This is second.
Yeah.
And then Throne of Glass. And then she's an entirely different character in Heir of Fire. Mm-hmm. Like,
Yeah, and just wait until the next one.
Yeah. Well, and also if we look at, I think we're not, if we look at the age of which, so Sarah Janet started writing this when she was 17. It got published when she was like 25.
yeah.
Wow.
And so
Makes sense.
she went from being a teenager, she took a story she wrote as a teenager, and then I am assuming she went to college. I don't know. Did she go to college? Did she go to writing school or anything?
I have no idea. But she
I
probably just,
think so, but I don't know if I just made that up in my mind or...
I don't have that. Maybe we should figure that out. But it seems like by Heir of Fire, she either has...
she's grown up a little.
She's grown up a little,
Yeah.
better editors, or she went to writing school.
Yeah.
And she's learned how to make an entire...
Character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Story, world building.
Oh, yeah. Stories too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And world building.
You know, it just seems like she gets...
Character?
Which is probably why I liked Crescent City so much, because
Yeah.
she's taken everything she's learned.
She's
and
hit
then-
her stride finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because she had wrote ACOTAR, in 2014?
Yeah. Not long after this. They're
Right.
kind of concurrent.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think Selena's in this a lot.
Yes.
And
I would argue that. Yes.
And
I was not happy to be back with this version of
Selena.
Yeah.
Selena.
I was a little bit nervous to send you down this path. But I knew we had to, and we had to get through it, and we made it. Look.
I did. I made it all. It took me a long time, but
Yeah.
I made it all the way through it.
I couldn't listen to this again. The reread for me is a re-listen. This book is hard for me to start. I personally don't think this pirate story should have come first, although I understand with the way the other story goes. Mm-hmm. I wish Irene came first.
I
But
don't know. We were back to checkers, and so it was really hard for me because
right.
you can see everything she's trying to get you to see, and I
Right.
don't want to see that.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, seeing the scaffolding around the building still. I just want to see the finished product.
Right.
Definitely.
And especially in like the pirate story, it felt very much, and if we just dropped the whole she's the best assassin in the whole wide world, oh my God, she's so fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It would be a better book because
Yeah.
it's not believable. So just drop it. If you
Right.
have to keep telling me, then you
Or she just doesn't
There's a
know,
reason
as
you
a
have to keep
writer, she
telling me.
doesn't know how to present that
Without
subtly.
telling me, yeah.
She's not, and I think that is, sorry. I think that's the maturity. It's the
Yeah.
difference in my name is Kate and I am nice versus showing you with action why I'm nice.
Right. And we also don't think through the consequences of like, okay, you're a pirate king. You literally sold your soul, apparently, at some point
For a map.
For a magic map. So we know you're willing to go to extreme lengths to get what you want. Mm-hmm. You find out this pirate king is trafficking in slaves to lots of different countries and lots of different powerful people. She gets him to stop by threatening his life, which is absolute bullshit because he fought and killed to get himself to where he is. He has a lot of powerful people that rely on him who will kill him if he breaks his contract giving them these slaves. So a 16-year-old girl being like, I'm going to say mean things about you on the internet if you don't stop selling slaves. And him to be like, oh my God, she said she was going to say mean things about me, so I really have to stop, was completely unbelievable.
Also, remember, he's like, not going to happen. And she's like, that's fine. I already, like, I know how to forge your signature.
Just say, one of Arobyn's assassins stole my signature ring and forged that document.
I mean, he'd have to, like, really really spread the word.
But it would be better than having, how many people does he have contracts with who are going to try to kill you now that you've broken?
Yeah.
You're not going to dismantle an entire slave trade.
I can see
in
your
a weekend.
Point. I can see your point. It is just like she's a little bit more two-dimensional.
Yeah.
The story itself is asking you to accept a lot.
The whole point of that story was only to introduce us to Rolf, because that's going to be important later. And
to give us this like enemies to lover kind of thing between her and Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
her feelings about slaves, which disappear in 3 stories. So
that's not, I don't agree with that, but I see where you're coming from. I don't agree with that at all.
You mean the part where she dismantles the Underground Railroad?
Mean to do that.
And then she's like, well,
okay.
I'm going to go drink wine on my apartment.
I hear what you're saying.
I feel sad about it.
Selena was completely manipulated intentionally.
Yes. Yeah.
To make her, to give her the information that she would make that decision, knowing how hard she worked to make that happen. Like, that's a part of the plot, is that we know it will destroy her for this information to go out. So we're going to make her do it herself.
Yeah.
So that's not her. She didn't do it on purpose.
She didn't do it on purpose. But her reaction is what I'm going with here, where she's like, oh, that was sad.
Yeah.
I think I'll go drink some wine about it.
I mean,
at least I'm free.
I don't know if that's what I don't know if that was
my takeaway.
I know. I don't know if that's my interpretation.
I think Kate and I are really filling in some gaps ourselves.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, I just imagined a lot more going on than that.
Yeah.
But there isn't. And maybe in
on
your
this
like
page,
on the page there not.
I'm reading between the lines.
Because by the next book, it's not even like she's like, oh, I really wish I could go to that symphony more often. Like, we don't even mention it again.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah. She's definitely learned how to, here's me giving you some filling in the lines. In her years, she's definitely learned how to, we get a deep dive into Arobyn and that relationship.
Yeah.
And there was a point, and I took notes on it. There's actually a point where she said, oh man, I didn't write it down. That she recognizes and realizes and shares with us, I do not even know how to break down this relationship with Arobyn.
Yeah.
He is my savior as well as my captor.
Yeah.
He is my father as well as my...
It is a really sick and twisted relationship.
And because of that, she has learned to be okay with killing as long as she thinks she's only killing people who aren't like, what does she call them? Sorry.
I mean, she's given herself.
Adulterous. Her line is, we only kill corrupt officials and adulterous spouses. So you see her in this story.
It's her desperate way to make herself morally, better than
and
the whores.
Throughout, we've seen her constantly compartmentalize all these different faces and masks that she wears, where she's not even able to say who she is. And I think that's why she's such a douchebag sometimes.
Yeah.
Because
she also lets Arobyn manipulate her constantly.
Yeah. And that's the thing. He's her weak spot. Like, she can't even tell. It's like when someone loves you, when the only love that you've ever remembered after your perfect royal family is the love of this like abusive captor.
Yeah.
You just don't have the strength to.
I'm sorry, but that is relatable.
Okay, Hannah. Did you have an abusive captor?
No, but I mean, break it down. Like, who hasn't, like...
Yeah. Who hasn't been in a relationship with someone
that you knew was wrong and that you knew you were being manipulated,
I guess so.
No.
No, but I recognize that I have a unique set of relationship experiences.
We'll talk about your star chart later.
Yeah. Yep. But I liked seeing that. Going into the next book and knowing that where it's going, getting that depth between, not the breakdown of who Erebin is.
It is nice to know who Erebin is before we go into the next one.
Yeah.
Because he's coming back. And it's good to know how much of an asshole he is, because she's flip-flopping in the first 3 books about the type of person he is, because she first thinks that he is bribing people at Endovier to keep her from getting worse treatment.
Killed. Yeah.
But then she's also like, well, he's also an asshole. So she's very like,
Yeah.
he's protecting me, but he's also the reason I'm here, but he's also an asshole, but he's also like my father, but he's also whatever.
Yeah.
So it's nice to know, like, okay, here's why our relationship is like emotional spaghetti to start with. So good. Now I know that going into the 4th actual book, not counting this as a prequel.
Just so y'all know, she does have a degree in creative writing from Hamilton College.
There you go.
Nice.
She went to school.
I could tell. You can tell.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like I can tell that she has.
And the first 2 books, if she wrote them first, they could definitely have been full of a lot of like sacred cow scenes that she couldn't get rid of, which is why they feel like shoehorned in sometimes. And by the 3rd and 4th book, she's writing them with her degree.
Yeah.
So it's less of like I wrote this when I was 17 and this was my favorite scene and I absolutely will not get rid of it, period.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and then just the maturity of, I mean, you really get a 17-year-old and then an Heir of Fire when she's only like 20.
Yeah.
She's all of a sudden a full-blown woman. She's an adult
Yeah.
with adult feelings. She's not the, I like that we always get, you always say, I just want some candy. I love that about her. I love, because I'm like that.
Yeah, I'm fine with the candy. It's
and the clothes. I love that. I love that she is girly and likes nice shit, and also and I will say this: you said that she didn't want to leave because of her candy and stuff. That's not what happened.
It's not what happened.
Sam didn't want to spend. Sam did not want to spend the money, and she was like, "Money doesn't matter because she's got money."
except that I don't want to leave if there's no running water.
No, but he said that. He said we can't go with nothing. They were both on the same page. He's like, we have to have more money to work. She spent all their money.
Yeah.
Because she's like,
freeing them from the
freeing
guild.
Right. So she needs to spend the money. And then he is like, well, we have to take one more job. So he goes and finds a job and they set him up. They just set him up.
Yeah.
And
Which they're
Erebin
awfully
says,
not suspicious of anything for 2 people who are supposed to be assassins.
They trust Erebin a lot.
That
they
is
go for an
deeply-
entire month without being able to get anything. And then all of a sudden, this incredibly dangerous job falls in their lap. And they're like, well, that's probably
Yeah, I'm going to go kill the
coincidence.
president. No big deal.
Yeah.
I'll just
Fine.
sneak
The
in
mob
a-
boss. Like
Yeah.
Tony Soprano. I'm just going to go kill him right
like
now.
Dumb kids that were raised assassins.
Well, to
and
me, that makes sense because they say this is so big that they had to keep it out of the guild. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had to be on the down low.
So they needed people specifically. Also, it was created to capture them. I think
Yeah, it's specifically.
Erebin knew. I don't know. Do we learn that?
Yeah, we do at the very end.
That he.
I thought we were going to hold that, but no. Erebin's talking to the guy that ends up getting promoted because she kills Tony Soprano.
But Selena doesn't know at the end of the book.
No, Selena doesn't.
Because she's already gone to the salt mines.
Right.
Yeah, Erebin knew he was losing her, so he did whatever he had to do. And it just goes to show you how shitty he is.
Yeah.
He's also an autumn king. He's
says,
a redheaded.
nobody touches my things.
Nobody, yeah.
Yeah.
He's really conflicted and stupid too. And I think we get a little bit more into that, where she starts to rationalize how hurt people hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
But Yeah. Sorry, I was about to just shift the subject.
That's okay.
My thought just completely stopped. But was thinking about...
I think you were about to say how when going into this next book, Queen of Shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one?
Yeah, I think that's next, right? Queen of Shadows, when they go back.
Yes.
And then it's Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and then Heir of Fire. Or Kingdom of Ash, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Opens book.
We can talk about the stories in order if you want to.
Yeah.
Just break them down separately.
Or just like what you took. Like what did you learn from the Pirates of Penzance?
Pirate King was really just like a relationship
I did not really
Honestly,
enjoy that.
I didn't either. I didn't listen to it until on the way here, and I didn't finish it. And I'm like, I don't care.
No.
It's just, for some reason, I don't like pirates. Ever. There's a lot of pirate romance out there.
What about Johnny Depp?
No. I'm not, that's not my thing.
Not pirates.
I don't like pirate stories.
It feels like it's a very contrived story. Like, why did Arabin send them there for one reason, but there's actually a totally different reason. So he puts them at risk by not telling them what's actually in the letters.
Yeah, why did he do that in the first place?
Right, he undermines his own cause of getting this thing by sending them there to, quote unquote, get retribution for some slain assassins. And he's like,
but he had been killed.
Who?
He had been killed?
Yeah.
Arabin?
Didn't Arabin have something to do with Ben's death? Like Sam,
we start with that, but then we're just like, we don't ever go back to that.
We don't ever go back to that?
No, the only reference we make is she's like, well, I did go get his body, and when I did, I buried it. And that's
but she
it. Because
loved him.
It was
just her pal.
I actually made a note after that chapter, like a big question mark. Like, why?
That was to be like, guys, look how badass Selena is. All these grown men won't go get his body, but she just marches right out there and goes and gets it because she's so bad.
But okay, Rachel. Okay, Rachel.
I'm
gonna pause. Let's pause. Okay. Let's think about this.
Okay.
These are all humans.
I know.
She's not a human. She is a fae.
But she's not the best. Like, we keep saying she's the best, but she's not. Everybody beats her up. They are jumping across rooftops, and she almost falls off the rooftop, and Sam has to pull her back up.
Well, Sam also never truly fought her because he was in love with her.
Yeah.
And I think he was always letting her win. So Sam could have been better, but also she's a super powered individual, and no one else is. So she could...
I'm not saying she didn't get the body. She did get the body.
Potentially be the most.
She could be. I'm not saying she couldn't be, but she's not written that way.
Sure.
She spends a lot of time getting beat up and cut.
Okay.
And
so what you're saying is there's an inconsistency between what she is saying about her character and the way she's writing the character.
Yes, because even Ansel, who the Mute Master never accepted as a... Like,
he could see that she was dangerous
with the Mute Master, and Ansel almost beats her.
I mean, Ansel was there a long time, but she doesn't beat her.
because she talks her way out of it.
But that's like such a street level fight. Okay, I hear what you're saying. It's like who would win between Thor and Hulk, right? Like, you people, they...
So what attracts me to stories generally, right? So let's just, like, baseline for Rachel
sure.
is always like a good idea. Okay, a new, interesting idea. Great. And then where we go with that idea.
Sure. How do we build upon
How do we build on this? So you give me a female assassin and you tell me she's the best in the world. Great. I'm fucking here for this. I want to see the world's best female assassin. So
even at the end of this book, you don't believe she's the best?
No, because don't give me a male assassin with tits. I don't want that. She fights just like all the dudes, and it's really frustrating. She has a whole skill set that no one is using. She can feminine wile her way into any situation, which she does once for information.
Right.
She knows nothing about like poisons.
Scarlet Widow.
She knows. I don't care if
that's not her name. Oh my god,
the
Scarlett Johansson.
I hate myself
the Black
right
Widow.
Now.
You should.
I just
love
want
that.
You're grounded.
Yeah. If you're going to tell me she's the best, I literally need her to be.
At this point, pause.
The best.
At this point, Kate stood in the corner with her nose in a dot for 10 minutes, and then we resumed the podcast to punish herself for saying the wrong thing.
Scarlet Widow.
The Scarlet
We got
Widow.
Scarlet Witch and Black Widow. stuff. It's
Well,
fine.
and Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson.
Sorry.
Just all over the place
I
over
know.
there.
I know.
So I think if you had called her a thief, we would have solved the problem for me. If you had called her a mercenary, we would have solved the problem
But
for
we
me.
never saw her assassinate.
Yeah, she doesn't assassinate shit. Anytime
Yeah.
she's sent to assassinate, she figures out how to get out of it, which I know is part of her. Like, she doesn't really want to be an assassin, which is fine. So don't make her. You could make her a mercenary, and it gives you a lot more leeway to get out of things. You could make her a thief. You could have made her whatever. But if you're okay, so baseline an assassin for me is someone who, like, they are incredibly intelligent, stealthy, skilled at a wide variety of things, because the idea is you should be able to kill somebody and nobody knows they were murdered.
Right.
We don't have that skill set. We have more of a mercenary skill set where we're like, you can hire me and I will kill this person.
She's a merc.
I
She
might
makes
make
a
them
big mess.
I might
too.
make them messy dead, but they'll be dead.
Right. Okay. That's valid.
Yeah.
I
Valid.
hear you.
And
Yeah.
but we keep hammering me over the head with the fact that she's the best. Literally telling me.
Oh, wait. What was it? Was it one of the reviews you sent where it said,
Oh, they say it 45,000 times.
In the
Are you
review?
tired of me saying the word assassin? I hope you don't mind, because they're going to say it 45,000 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, even in the Irene chapter. Here's a
Right.
perfect example. So in the Irene chapter, we needed to see how badass she is. That's why it's from Irene's point of view, because then she can talk about how amazing Selena is and how stealthy she is and how she emerges from the mist.
And the
Like she wasn't even there. And she just slaughters these men like it's nothing. After a while, you're like, why is everyone sexually attracted to Selena? It gets a little weird. And also that she's just like, I want everyone to know how good she is, but rather than make her good, I'm just going to tell you repeatedly that she's the best.
Yeah.
And
you
I
know
think
what else
that's
she
what gets
does?
to me after a while. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Then-
I get that. I hear that. You know what else she does in that Irene chapter? She gives us all a lesson on how to
fight back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's real.
Yeah.
Like when she's teaching Irene how to do it and she says, don't ever let them take you to a second
location.
and
Yeah.
do always scream fire. She's literally giving every person reading that a lesson on. So like, you know,
Self-defense.
yeah, on self-defense. I like
Yeah.
that. I thought it was nice.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, it was,
The more you know.
she then murders a bunch of dudes because she's pissy, but that's fine too.
Yep, she sure does.
Which
and
is
she
like the
rationalizes
only
every
people
bit.
she kills. She kills those people and she kills like people in the Underground Railroad chapter.
Yes.
And that's the only time she kills in the entire book.
Yes, and she kills the wrong people in the
Yes.
Yes. Yes, because she was manipulated. Easily manipulated
Manipulated.
by airmen, that's for sure.
Because he's manipulating her arrogance.
Yes.
Which it would make sense if you set us up as he's encouraging her arrogance because it allows him to manipulate her. I would believe that.
Right.
That
Yeah.
would be like, okay, great. Yeah, we're creating this puffed up character because we have another character that's using her like a pawn. Okay. But if we need to write that then.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think her arrogance is a show. I think it's a defense mechanism. I don't think it's actually who she is. I think the person that is actually her is the soft-hearted character who likes candy and
Yeah.
pretty dresses. And that
I
I've
think it's
always
the
thought
one-
it's a mask, which is why it is so awful.
Yeah.
Because it is contrived.
Yeah. She created Selena
She created
to be the assassin.
right.
Yeah.
But
And-
you see you see glimpses of, her heart sending all that gold to Irene.
Yeah.
The world needs more
Yeah.
healers.
Right.
It turns out to be extremely important.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she like in essence, these 5 stories, and this probably wasn't the plan at first, but she basically takes these 5 stories and writes the rest of the series. How do we make those 5 stories as relevant as possible
Yeah.
so that it does all connect in ways that
Each chapter is introducing us to someone that is in her alliance at the end.
we need
Every
to
single one.
Yeah.
Wait. We'll wait.
You know what we'll do? We just put a spoiler warning.
Yeah. Is there an inconsistency in the way Sam is murdered in this versus what her recollection is? Because I recall in the books her being with Sam when he's murdered.
No.
Because she talks about how he was tortured, what happened to him. She talks about the fact that he was given Gloriella and he just had to lay there and couldn't move. Or was that just conjecture on
That's
her
just
part?
conjecture.
Because she implies in the series that she was...
Get that.
I don't have enough remembrance.
Oh, okay.
Remembrance.
Because I was like, hang on, he died off screen?
Yeah, he dies off page. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
And then he just shows up and he smells like cheap soap because she wouldn't let him use her soap.
That was bullshit.
bitch.
I was like, you're being a bitch. That's some
You had to
petty.
use dial.
That's some petty ass shit. Yes.
I wouldn't let him use my Bath and Body Works.
Yeah.
He had to use the dial.
Yes. After he was just
the
like,
bar.
Get away from my candy, my country apple, bro.
yeah.
Step away from my Frisia.
Yeah.
Wait, first of all, just pause. What were y'all's Bath and Body Works fragrances? Did you have one?
Juniper berry.
Okay, what was yours?
It was definitely the country apple.
Mine was country apple.
But then it when I got very mature in 7th grade, I went to, I think it was Midnight Garden or something. It was like a purple one.
Yes.
Sure.
That
And
one
it
was
kind
good.
of smelled like grapes.
Yeah, very mature.
Yeah. That was my
Yeah.
like grown up lady scent.
Yeah, I wore country apple until there was like cotton candy fragrances in the world.
My
I
mom's
shifted.
was Pear Blossom.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Solid.
But
Yeah,
everyone had their own
Bath and
scent.
Body Works.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we were in like clusters.
Or sweet pea.
Sweet
My mom would do sweet pea.
cucumber melon.
Yeah.
I love cucumber melon.
Ew, I hate cucumbers.
loved
I love to eat them, but I don't like. I
the
don't
smell of them.
Yeah,
I love the smell.
That's
not
funny.
I said the little goose. Sorry. Anyways, back to the story.
Yeah, so the soap comment actually comes after she finds him at the underground. And
Yeah.
he's like, I wouldn't have to do this if some of us would lower our standard of living a little.
I disagree with you there.
He literally says that. Like the line
Sam?
is, yeah, he
Yes,
says.
he says
he
your
says-
standard of living.
He says, you are spending our money like it's nothing.
And she goes, my standard of living.
And then she's like, oh, I did get used to servants and stuff. She's like, I guess I am a little spoiled.
So I, as a person, impulsively spend and like nice things.
But you are not in a situation where someone is.
But recently I have been less. I have been in a state of less lately and have had to learn how to live without a lot. So
dial soap.
I still don't use dial soap. I just
know.
go to my mom's and make her buy me stuff.
Okay.
Mom, I need the oatmeal soap. Mom, go buy me some oatmeal soap. I'm just kidding. I'm an adult. But no, I've been using Blippi shampoo
Nice.
from the kids. I bought the kids Blippi shampoo, and I don't want to buy new shampoo yet. And so I've been using like the Blippi body wash as shampoo. And then I use like anyways, I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry.
This is
To the
this
listener.
is something
Right,
I'm going
but
to
no.
think about for
But
the rest
I
of the night.
relate to her inability to
But you do not have a maniacal, like an egomaniacal master who is trying to figure out a
Sure.
way to get you back into the fold.
That's true.
And you're trying to escape with your life.
I know.
That's slightly different.
Right.
Yeah.
She still doesn't want to leave.
No, she
She
doesn't want to
never
leave.
she
we're
never
told.
wanted to leave.
Guys, but you know why she won't leave the country.
Right. It's because she doesn't want her magic back.
Yeah.
That's why
she doesn't
he's-
want to be like, surprise!
Yeah.
I'm actually a fey queen.
Right.
Look at me.
She likes where
I'm
she
magical.
is 'cause she's mundane there,
And I'm gonna burn your ass up with my fire.
which he doesn't tell her, so he doesn't know.
Yeah.
She
Sam
doesn't-
never knows.
I'm actually surprised she doesn't. I don't understand why she has to keep that from everybody. I mean, I get why it's really important and not know, but if it's Sam,
I feel like the secrecy is worse than just creating an elaborate enough backstory.
did you guys like the part where it alluded to their butt stuff?
Yes. We've enjoyed each other's bodies. Yes.
She was like, "We've gone further than this," and I was like, "Butt stuff."
Oh my god.
I was like, "There it is.
There it is.
Put the schlong over here."
Poor Sam.
Poor
He's a sweet boy. And
He is.
I'll tell you what. There is nothing that gave me more goosebumps than when Sam said, and I might get teary thinking about it because it's so sweet, where he's like, you know what I do? I just say to myself, I am Sam Cortland and I am not afraid. And you realize that we have
That's where
heard
she
her
got
say
it.
that every time, and that is actually where it came from. And that's a really powerful moment.
And she teaches that to
Irene?
Kale.
Yeah.
Doesn't she tell Kale that in the last book?
Yeah, I mean,
Or
I
is that
don't
the
know.
next book?
She says it
Yeah.
100 times. And Bryce says it. Everybody says it.
Lahaba says it.
Don't bring up Lahaba.
I'm sorry to bring up
Oh my God,
Lahaba.
instant goosebumps. Don't bring up my baby girl Lahaba. I just thought of some theory I want to talk about later on if we do get to a super fan edition. But yeah, so we've kind of talked about the first story, the second story a little bit.
Yeah. Third one's the Mute Master one.
Right.
Where at one point we straight up do the Karate
So-
Kid, on the
Wax on,
the
wax on.
stumps.
Yeah.
When they're up on the parapets and he gets up on one of them and he
Send the
starts
floor.
doing his
Right.
this is my snake move and this is my crab move and this is my worm move.
Show me Jackrabbit.
It's like, what is this shit?
Show me
Young
paint
adult.
the house.
It's a young adult book, Rachel.
I was in the living room and I was like, Matt, I just need to tell you something for a minute. I was like, I am dying. She went to go study the ancient secret master art and he's just like, observe the snake. I was like, what is happening? She's like, I learned to move like the snake.
And then
she
later
goes
on with his
but she
rudiment-
goes through this whole thing. She goes through the snake,
But
the rabbit,
it saves the date,
No,
Rachel.
wait.
Rudimentary
No.
name. Soup.
wait. She goes through all this stuff. She observes the asp. She learns to live like it. She hangs upside down with the bats. Not even fucking kidding. And learns about their stillness and their ability to be there and observe without moving. And she goes through all of this. And then you find out 4 days have passed. She's like, well, I still have 4 more weeks to try to get it. What? What? That's it?
4 days, and now she's a changed woman.
You're like, because it implies all this time is passing, and you find out she did an hour with the snake. She had about 20 minutes with the bat. She visited the rabbits with the bat. She visited the rabbit for the afternoon, and then she called it a day and went and got some dinner.
And you know what saved the day? His rudimentary little wispy snake
she
signal.
dodges like the snake.
Yeah. I don't know, but I think it's fun.
It's fine. It was fine. It was fine in the context of what it was. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
Fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, my sound is off.
I did not call Ansel being the bad guy.
That's great.
Really?
Good
That
job,
was
Sarah
pretty
J.
good.
Sarah J, you got
Wow.
her. You got her good.
You got her.
I was
You
like,
got
how are we
her.
going to end this? I don't know. Oh, well. It was good, though. I mean, that one was okay.
Betrayal from your first best girlfriend.
Yeah. And she's like, I gave her 20 minutes, but I waited 21.
You know what I was thinking? I was like,
She didn't
does she
kill
have
her.
a watch?
Yeah,
how
I
does
know.
she
She's
know?
like,
They know,
she's like, I
naturally.
just
Fey
felt
magic.
20
It's like
minutes
her-
had passed.
Fey magic, there's always a second sign ticking in her
inside
brain.
Yeah.
book.
It's like in Animorphs, one of the characters has a timer in their head.
I
Perfect.
think that animals keep time. Dogs keep.
Well, she just spent 20 minutes with the bats. I'm sure they
yeah,
knew what
that's
was
where
up.
the time keep came
Yeah,
from.
it's
The bats.
Yeah, the bats.
Yep.
Yep. She passes up the opportunity to be with Mute Master's son.
Come on, you didn't like her more when you thought that she put the
I did.
when she took her spider silk and she put it in Sam's suit. That didn't make you like her.
No. Sorry. Damn it. No.
That was so sweet.
Well,
I like
nothing when
Heir
you're
of
over.
Fire Selena just fine, but Crown of Midnight Selena, Throne of Glass Selena, and Assassin's Blade Selena is not Heir of Fire Selena.
Sure.
Yeah. Heir of Fire Selena would have been like, Arabin's up to some shit.
Yeah,
And I ain't playing
she's
it.
not dumb.
No.
We're going to talk about that in your chart reading.
Okay. Because literally Arabin is outside of her door after he's like, oh my God, they left Sam's body here. And she comes and he's like, why don't you stay in your old room? I left it just like you had it. And so she goes in there and he's literally outside the door and he's like, oh my gosh, I heard who did it. It's this guy.
This window is left open.
Yeah, it's this guy. It's this address. He has his window open and I'm going at midnight. I am going at midnight. And she's like, oh my God, yes, I just have to get there by 11. And he just walks away like, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, that is what happens.
And Wesley's literally like, look, did you really not put that together? And she's like, right in the face. And she just runs.
Yeah.
Which he needed to be like, Arabin's betraying you. Like, just throw it out there instead of being like, wait, think about what's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
It really,
it's funny.
After a while, it felt a lot like I was watching an Austin Powers movie in that scene where they put him in with the sharks and they like shutting the door. And the one guy's like, aren't we going to watch them die? And they're like, no, they're going to die when the door's shut. And he's like, well, shouldn't we just go ahead and kill them? Look, I got a gun. You got a gun. Let's just go shoot them right now. And he's like, no, the sharks will kill them. Like when they put her in the tunnel and it's going to flood, I was like, seriously? If you had just slit her throat, we would have been done.
Yep.
And it really felt like that scene.
We really would have been done. We would not have had any more books.
Right.
Nope.
And it really felt like that scene where he's like, I'll shoot him right now. Let's just go. We'll shoot him together. Nope.
Yep. Nope. For people who listen to these stories, I notice this. So Wesley, I don't know how the woman that does the voices for this series does Crescent City too. She's wonderful, but it's always really telling. And I'm curious other people's experiences, but she does certain voices that like her villains have a certain sound, pitch, tone. And she used a non-villain voice for Wesley. She used one of her like voices that she usually uses for like the foil or someone that we're supposed to like and trust. Mm-hmm. So when she starts talking like Wesley and he's like, Selena, where are you going? And I'm like, you got to listen to this guy, man. She's using the good guy voice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are you doing?
She's giving it away.
She's using the good guy voice. Yeah. Like, so yeah, if she could have just I do know people who don't think past, like they're so doery. They're like doers, right?
Yeah.
They don't think, right? So, anyways. So I do know people that are.
I admit these people exist. I'm not saying they don't, and I'm not saying that she's not an appealing character, but I struggle with her in these 3 books.
I hear that. It's reasonable. Honestly, this book's hard for me too. I did not start listening to it until like 2 days ago. And normally with these books, I'm like, I start listening right away. I'm excited about them, but I'm like, ugh, this book feels a little bit like homework. And then once I start listening to like the desert story, I'm like, oh yeah, hell yeah, this stuff is relevant.
When they have the silent dance party, just pick your own rhythm. It's fine.
Isn't that just like a silent disco? Where you put your music on?
Yeah, except without
dance?
any headphones because there's no music at all. Yeah. And she dances the night away to nothing.
I would have kind of loved to have been a fly on the wall at that party.
Yeah, I think that's kind of fun.
It is fun. It was interesting. I'm glad she carried it all the way through too. We literally don't even have music.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
None of it. Well, the Mute Master doesn't actually have a vow of silence, but the rest of them do.
Yeah, I love that he just started talking. She goes at one point in the book. This part made me laugh. She's like, and then I could hear screams from people who sounded like they hadn't used their voices in a long time. Yeah, and she's like,
oh, it's the assassins.
Like, they're okay. They're winning. Hey, go get her. They're over there. Go get her. They're right here.
See, since she learned that from the rabbits.
Yeah.
That was her half-hour brunch rabbit sit down.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm doing brunch with the bats today. Yeah, she was not in the desert more than a month, and she came out a changed person.
Yes. Yeah, and we go back.
Sorry.
I was going to say we go back to Erebin, and that was a pretty funny scene because she storms in, and she's used to everyone just being like, Selena's entered the room.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Selena! Oh, the Miss Assassin! Scariest woman we've ever met.
Oh, she's so and he's just like, hold, please.
Hold on a second. I'm reading my mail.
It's pretty shitty that he beat her to a pulp.
Yeah, and then she goes back and she immediately believes him, which is equally shitty.
Yeah. But that's what happens. That's like the Stockholm Syndrome shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's really what was happening, is that her savior was her captor. And, you know, he has played himself as this figure who he's put her on a pedestal. Immediately, he's pedestaled her amongst this group of people.
Yeah.
While also making it so that she's constantly oppressed.
Yeah.
And it is unfortunate that she wants to believe him like a father, but
Yeah.
he's a piece of shit with red hair.
Those redheads.
Fucking redheads, Baron and Eris, get over here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Sorry.
Then you get Bryce.
And then you get beautiful Bryce, yeah. I can't wait to see what the connection to that is. But yeah, I think this book is fun. I like it.
It's okay. I'm glad we're done. We're ready to move back.
I'm
to the
like
main
so
series.
excited to go back to Rowan.
I feel like
Yeah.
I feel again like it would have been good to put it first. I don't know if I could have sat through 3 consecutive books of this Selena.
Yeah.
But if you're not bothered by Selena the way I am bothered by Selena, I feel like first is best for this.
Mm-hmm.
Because once we hit Rifthold with Sam, I was like, oh shit, here it's coming. And I'm not in love with their love affair. So I'm not like, I'm upset for Sam because he's going to die for this woman.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Who's then going to spend a year and then get broken out by 2 other dudes who want to fuck her. And then we're going to go off to, it was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's, I mean, and to her credit, she's broken up about Sam for a long time.
Yeah, for a long, long time.
Yeah, which made it feel better. If we hadn't talked about Sam at all in Throne of Glass, and you literally know he sacrifices his life for her, and that she was just like,
that broke her.
yeah,
I mean, it's definitely a part of her that will never go away.
yeah,
I don't think Sam died for her. I think Sam was murdered because of his proximity. So
yeah,
He was an innocent bystander.
yeah.
yeah. He got caught up in the Arabin
And Arabin
Selena
was like,
weirdness.
you have too much. I want her love.
Yeah,
And Arabin's fucked up too. He wants her love somehow.
Arabin is probably the best villain she has.
Yeah.
Because a lot of her villains are
Yes.
black and white, and Arabin is like,
It's not.
I will raise this girl, and then I will pay for her fucking virginity. I don't have any problem with that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to see how the next book goes with that too. Because
Yeah.
there's some discourse in the world of Sarah J. Maas fans on how the next book goes when it comes to Arabin. So
Okay.
I actually don't want to spoil it. So we're not going to talk about
Okay.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that when we get there then.
Yeah. But it's necessary for the story. It's an easy read if you're just reading these and you love them.
I feel like there should be a guide to what one you need to read before each book. So if you don't want to sit through all of
Yeah,
them.
because it would be really cool to read. That's a great idea. Because I would have loved to have read this desert story before book 2, because we would have had an intro to witches.
Yeah.
And I want to hear the Sam stuff and the Arabin stuff before this next
And
book.
you could very easily read them out of order.
And exactly.
Yeah.
And I would have loved, like, when would we put the pirate story? I would have done the pirate one.
Before the last book.
Empire of
no.
Storms, maybe even. Yeah. So when that got, like, put that at the end. And then Irene would be right before Tower at Dawn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, you could totally do that. So, honestly, I'm going to put that out to the world.
Put it out there.
The Reddit world.
Yeah.
Where we say, these actually would be really cool to be.
And if you shuffle these, they make a little more sense too. If you take
Yeah.
the Underground Railroad one, which we haven't really talked about, but it's supposed to be a reaction to everything that's happened to her from the pirate, but it doesn't have to be, because she's just as manipulatable at the beginning as she is in that one. So it's fine. We can shuffle it.
Well, and it also, yeah.
But if we take the Underground Railroad, put it at the beginning, and have her dismantling this this way for slaves to get free on accident, and then you have her go
to Undovier.
No, you have her go to the Pirate King.
Oh, right.
And then it makes sense why Arabin doesn't tell her that he's trying to participate in the slave trade, because he knows she's never going to agree to it because of what she just did. And then it makes more sense for her to be like, well, I'm going to free these slaves. I couldn't help them, but I'm going to help these ones. That makes more sense.
That actually does.
Instead of being like, well, I just don't like slavery. It's wrong.
Well, but
he does
I
that.
think something that she misses. I'm sorry, you go ahead, Hannah.
I was just going to say, but he does the whole underground thing to punish her for Rolf.
Right, but we could
you
shift
could
it.
You're
switch
just saying
it.
just change that. Okay.
Just change that.
Because I see what you're saying.
Okay.
The thing that's not being said that if that could have been highlighted more throughout all the stories, because they don't really talk about it, is that because of Selena's indentured servitude
Yeah.
and her constant oppression and her constant cage that she's kept in, she is unabashedly against. I mean, like normal human beings. But we don't get that. We don't get that, like, she doesn't write that in.
No.
So it does, we're always guessing. It always seems like her actions are out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But it is tied to who she is as a person. And she was probably brought up in a royal home and a household where ideologically that would never have flied.
Well, I don't think it did before the King of Adarlan. I don't get the sense that was something that was done in the continent.
Right.
And so we get that sense, even though it's not explicitly stated. But
Right.
we don't need the Underground Railroad thing to be, that could just be our introduction to Arabin and how manipulative he is.
Mm-hmm.
And
it doesn't
then,
necessarily have to be a retributive.
right. And then if we go from there, to
Yeah.
Rolf, and we do the Rolf story, it makes tons of sense. And then we go to the Irene story, and we find out that because she freed those slaves, she's now being sent to the desert. And then after the desert, we come back and do the whole thing with Sam without having to have the Underground Railroad story right in the middle.
Yeah.
It flows
That's good.
way better because
For
our
sure.
motivations are so much clearer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think it should be.
And then she's not getting manipulated by Arabin 5 times. It's just a couple of times. So it stays believable. You're not like, would you just assume this man is lying to you?
Right.
Which is how you feel by the end of it. But if you rearrange it a little bit, you don't feel that
Yeah,
way.
and she even goes off to Endovir and still doesn't know.
Right.
But that is essential to our next
Right.
plot line where it's going. But I agree with that. I think that would be great. I think reading these stories out of order, maybe more in that order, and also before the book that they're the most relevant for would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would make a lot of sense to read them right before the book that these characters re-show up in.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
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 Because they're hard
Yeah.
to sit through as an omnibus, but if we break them up.
Yeah, I
easier.
agree.
Yep.
All right. Well,
we'll just leave it
since
there.
we're all on agreeing terms,
Yeah.
That's
I
a good
think
place
that's
to
a great
leave it.
place to pop off for the day. Sorry.
All right.
Rachel gave me coffee before this. So.
That's true. I did. I gave you a Dolce double espresso.
Double espresso? I'm not going to sleep tonight.
Sorry.
It'll be fine. I'll take some Benadryl.
Just go for a
Me and my
run.
dog.
Did you watch Ted Lasso yet? Oh yeah, you
Girl,
did.
I had
we
already
Yeah, we already
talked
talked about
Can we
it.
talk about this really fast?
Sure.
Or should we talk about that in the super series?
Well,
It's
I feel
okay to
like-
talk about other stuff, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's our
Let's
podcast.
do it at the beginning of the super
Yeah.
fan
Turn us
edition.
off, Boo Bear.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Check us out on Instagram and Patreon.
Bye.